Hello and welcome back to Ghosthunter. This is Bio Enchanted, and today we're going to go to one of the more interesting parts of the boat. When we start moving. There we go. So, first of all, we need to head down these stairs to the lower deck. And if you remember last time, we were told we would be using dynamite to destroy some form of creature. Let's find out more about that, shall we? These doors down here are all blocked off, so we can... This is a very linear part of the game, despite how it looks. So we kind of have to move, you just kind of push in kind of one direction. Here we have some information, so let's find out more about that. Okay, the captain at this stage of the story has only just realised that, well, not quite only just realised, but he's starting to get curious because there's a secret cargo that he doesn't know what it is yet, and he doesn't trust it. Good question. Luckily, they are surrounding a piece of dynamite. Stick? Bundle? I'd say bundle, actually, it's 4 of them, so... it's still blocked up over here as well. Let's head over here and be careful, because these are the first tentacles that can actually notice you. Because essentially there are 3 different types of tentacles here. The grabbing tentacles, which are the ones with the teeth, the eyeballs, and then those waves you can see over there, which are the radar kind of. They're a motion tracker. I quite like the way the motion tracker looks, because that weird kind of a fin thing it has going on around the exterior of the actual mouth. It gives it a unique look to it. It's fairly interesting. So yeah, we have to get around, avoiding these tentacles while finding our way to dynamite to blow them up. That's part of the game. It's basically a kind of a stealth puzzle thing. But even then, the stealth's not that important, because you can quite easily get out the way of the tentacles. They're very slow moving. And there's that set taken care of. This part's actually kind of heavily edited because I made a few mistakes running through this part of the game, in that I got lost a few times and went the wrong way. So I've cut all that stuff out, only left in the actual progress in the level. Careful not to get spotted by this guy. Let's move on now that he's stopped paying attention to us. That dynamite is so not connected to that cable. Here, let's try and get past this guy next. This is pretty much this entire section. It's more repetitive than it wants to be, but it's at least an interesting change of pace, in that it's not shooting stuff, it's more of a long-winded puzzle dealing with something that bullets just won't work against. So that at least gives it something to work with. This is interesting. As you may have noticed here, there is actually
I need some TNT.
No dynamite on this cable. We need to find some. First, let's quickly explore this area, get some lore going. Making sure there's no ammo in the corners, that kind of thing. And see how Captain Kraken's situation has progressed. Oh dear, despite Freddy's attempts to be vague about it, the captain has now found out that it is in fact the dagger of Poseidon that we have on board the ship. One thing he does not want anywhere near this thing, so he is now infuriated, not just because it's secret cargo, but because it's cargo that should never be on a ship. I like the way it kind of progresses with that kind of thing as well. That's kind of neat. It gives a sense of the situation escalating gradually as the situation happens. So, No dynamite here. Or here. This is a bad place to be. Let's just get out of here then. This door is sealed. It will not open because it has no handle. We now need to get some dynamite. So let's make sure to get that. I'm cutting ahead to when I actually found the dynamite. It's just in the room, basically one door down in the corridor. It just, I often get lost looking for this particular piece of dynamite because normally with this kind of puzzle, the thing you need is in the first room and the thing you do it with is in the second room. So the thing you need being in the second room kind of threw me off, but there it is.
Day 18. Storm clouds gathering, ocean tossing, and I've a bloody civvy at the helm. Who or what is this godforsaken Captain Kraken? Never liked the look of him. Should have known he was rotten. Third day at sea, refused the friendly game of dead quoits. Shuffles about the blasted bridges and he owns the place. His fat, pus-ridden face looming. His one bulging eye peering up at you. Blighter sat out the war, naturally, bloody coward. Comes out of the woodwork now to steer a ship full of gold. Ha! Keeps on and on about seeing the cargo. Doesn't seem to understand the term top secret. Bad egg.
Not just the captain, Freddy was already kind of put off by him from the beginning as well, so this was never a situation that was going to end well. Just showing off that this door is in fact accessible from the other side, it just doesn't mean anything to us, so let's move on. And now we've got the dynamite, we can actually get through this set of rooms to place it. So let's sneak past these tentacles twice more. Once there and once back. Dynamite planted. And oops. Yeah, that's what happens when these tentacles actually grab you properly. They can start thrashing you about a bit and do 3 damage. It's very dangerous. So let's just quickly fuck off. This is not going to end well, so let's just get out of here now and leave the tentacle room forever. By forever I mean for about 30 seconds as we head back here to blow it up. I kind of like the death animation. They look kind of like those weird sock puppet things that you see outside of gas stations. You know, those weird billowy things flopping around all the place when the wind passes through them. So let's climb down this weirdly sturdy 4-poster bed. I always thought the roof on those beds were made of some kind of fabric, but there we go. Maybe I'm just wrong on that. I've never slept in a 4-poster bed. You can see there's meant to be wood there, so let's just move on. Continue the escalation with more lore from Captain Kraken. And the captain has set his sights on mutiny. A somewhat ironic thing for it to be the captain committing immunity, considering it's normally committed against him, but there we go. So yeah, that's his promise, basically. 3 bells and then everyone dies. Well, everyone that's not his crew, anyway. So let's find the remainder of the dynamite here. This particular area is fairly complex because the idea here is we're trying to find 4 pieces of dynamite this time for a different room a little bit later on. I'm just checking all the areas, like the baths and everything, just to make sure, because I can never remember exactly where the dynamite is, but it's right here by the bed. There we go. Halfway through the dynamite, and that means we're done with this half of the ship, because we may have guessed we have 2 in this corridor and 2 in the next. Let's just ignore the tentacles forever. And check out what's in this door. Or not. Maybe guess there's a puzzle there. And these stairs are fucked, so we're never going to get down to the next thing from here, next deck. And this area's basically just nothing. I don't even know why those corridors would exist, but there we go. I mean, at least these ones are just walled off. Let's see what Freddy has to say.
Day 21. By jigger and crud, how right I was about the bog-eyed traitor Kraken. Height of the storm, suddenly 3 bells ring, and his crew attack. We fight back, oh yes, and how we fought. My boys were lions, did his majesty proud. But those cutthroat tars were quite a handful, I can't deny. My duty lay with the cargo, of course. And I was there before you could say, "Hi, Jimmy Knacker." But so too was Kraken, with some sort of cleaver in his hand. But it seems the dagger of Poseidon is what the whole damn scrap was about, the greedy blackguard. Freddy Fortescue wasn't going to let him get it. No, no, no. At least not the way he wanted it. But in the tussle, by jingo, he did get it. He got it right in the belly. Now, a dagger, statue or no statue, gold or no gold, to the belly isn't good news for a chap. And so, down went Kraken, swiping his cleaver about his bulging eye, never leaving the dagger of Poseidon jammed in his breadbasket. The curse, he whispered. The curse. Not the greatest of last words, I was thinking, when I looked up and realized it was time for my own. OAS, as I recall. You see, I was looking up and seeing my own body charging about without a blooming head. Kraken's cleaver had swiped it off. Damn nuisance. Worse still, in the melee, down goes HMS Victoria. Glug, glug, glug. Davy Jones's locker, what? Turns out, though, that wasn't the end for us. Hurrah for the haunting life, what? And of course, us British ghosts don't give up a tussle, oh no. And neither did Kraken's motley lads, and so the fight rages on. But Kraken just slinks there in the corner, slime-covered, watchful, attracting the urchin.
So apparently after death, Kraken didn't fare as well as Freddy did. Freddy still remained roughly himself, but Kraken is now just being described as slime-covered, and just sitting there motionless in the corner watching the situation unfold. Here is what's left of Captain Kraken. I quite like this room because this is a neat little set piece, the ability to actually see their corpses from their fight they had. And there's what's left of Freddy. His body definitely did get quite far without his head, didn't it? I quite like that little visual touch, so that's quite a nice little thing. And I like the presentation of the last words as well, just that, OAS, if I recall, as being the thing. That's just a cute way for him to have gone out as well. It feels very like something that would have happened to, definitely felt like it would be appropriate to happen to one of the Fortescue family. They always seem to die in embarrassing ways. So let's dodge these tentacles, and try and find where we're heading next. I quite like the way it escalates the situation with those dispatches as well, like giving you more and more information on how the feud unfolded, and then like Captain Kraken's downfall after his death, that kind of thing. And I also quite like Freddy's attitude at the whole thing, just like, hurrah for the haunting life. That's just a pretty cute line. Favourite line's definitely at last though. And yeah, that's the trick here. In this set of rooms, there's actually 2 sets of dynamite in one linked set of rooms, which can throw you off a bit if you're expecting one for each set. But now we have all the dynamite, so now we need to figure out what to do next. This was actually me being a bit of a fool, because you know that's how most of these closed doors have been closed, never to open. This one down here has thrown me off by not being that, even though it looks like the ones that you can't open. So let's just head down there and get in that bloody door now that I've remembered the trick. Here we are. The prompt came up, so yay. But seriously, it can be hard to tell you can actually open that door. The only difference is it actually has a handle, which can be fairly hard to notice. So let's summon Astral and solve a puzzle. like this section because the music's very well good at building a kind of like a tension appropriate for stealth-ish part of the game. And the fact that the stealth is actually fairly easy, so really kind of, it doesn't really distract from a game that really does not suit itself to stealth mechanics. It's like, we only really need to do this the one time, and it's not really much of a bother. Unlike a lot of games in which stealth is 200 and is actually difficult enough to be a problem, which can be really annoying. So yeah, looking over there, you might be able to guess what we need to do with Astral in here. Big pile of junk blocking the door. So let's take care of that. The only way we know how. This can be quite a finicky power to use, as you can see here, and as you saw in the previous as well. It can be hard to determine exactly where you need to be floating to actually use this power, making it kind of a pain in the ass. This is honestly one of the worst powers in the game because of that, because while it's got some interesting things to do with it, it's still just a little bit finicky. So now that we've finally got that unblocked, let's move on to that big central room we just glimpsed through Astral. And this tentacle's really having some fun, clipping through the other tentacles. I quite like the design of these rooms because they do look quite comfy, like the kind of cabins I would want to stay in if I was ever on a ship like this, that kind of thing. So he did a good job designing them, and then destroying them. So finally we'll head into this room, with a bit of a lag. And also you may have noticed the subtitles having a bit of lag there. That is not the recording, that is just what happens in the game. The subtitles are either too fast or too slow for the actual dialogue. It seems to vary which one, based on how quickly the characters are talking. So often the one can get ahead of the other. So let's plant these 4 pieces of dynamite around the perimeter of this room. This room is really weirdly designed as well because of the positions of the wires connecting the TNT together, because they aren't. They're just going into the wall, unless the TNT is wired directly into the bloody wall. I don't know how this really works, especially considering if you look down there at the plunger. The cable's going into the wall there too, nothing is connecting to anything else. All they had to do was make the red cables go in, down the stairs and from the balconies and stuff and connect to the plunger. And it would have been fine, you wouldn't even have to change the positions of where the dynamite goes, just the orientation of the wire, but the way they put it, it just makes no sense. I didn't notice while I was talking over this, so it's kind of jarring to finally notice that. So let's move on to this final piece of dynamite, once we've gingerly edged past this tentacle. Also amusing to point out, and that's second to last set of tentacles. I quite like that bust as well, the screaming bust. That tentacle in the middle there, the sensor, motion sensor one, it's been deforming weirdly throughout the video, like it kind of is twisting in on itself like a balloon animal. I forgot to mention it in this recording, but there you go. I just found that quite funny when I first noticed it doing it. Like, what are you okay? Well, now he's not. So now the tentacles are gone, so let's finally move on to more conventional gameplay. In the clue areas. Once we've just confirmed there's nowhere else to go from here. Because that's the only to miss ammo. So here we are, let's just check around the clue area and see what we can do from here. We can go up these stairs and find there's our way forward, but of course you always want to go down the areas that aren't the way forwards first, so let's just investigate the other parts of this room as much as I can. Can't go down these stairs, and corridors are nothing, and this room is basically empty despite having the usual trappings of a room with lore in it, with the dispatch rather, for this section, because you all have that kind of, the row of radiators on one side, the table on the other, that kind of thing. You always have this kind of layout.
Day 29. 2 days ago it started. As each of Kraken's sailors fell, their spirits seemed to get sucked into his slimy carcass. By the hour, he became stronger and stranger, too. Tentacles and fangs, a horrific sight. Kraken is now unrecognizable, a monster of the deep. Grows by the day. This is a fight fit for a Fortescue! Hurrah!
Oh dear. We'll deal with that next time. Goodbye.